Welcome everyone back to the Final Fantasy Randomizer Rando Marathon. We're here with, and I'm sorry if I didn't ask this before. Is it Sozu? Is that how you pronounce it? SO5Z?
It's SO5C
Okay,
is right.
SO5Z. Their commentator is Jim the Eternal, and we're going to be running some Timespinner Randomizer. Anything specific, special about this mode or run that you're doing?
Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of easier settings to speed us up a little bit, not necessarily easier on the execution, just to cut in the travel time a little bit down, so we're getting a bit lower on time, and I think the incentive has been met for the boss shuffle.
Oh yeah, the shuffle bosses. Yes, that has been met indeed. And while we're talking about incentives, just want to point out that we have a donation that just came in from Mashima, $10 to name the Castlevania file name Dark Moon. Okay. Thank you, Mashima. Thank you for your donations. A reminder that this is all for the Burn Children's Fund from the South Carolina Firefighters, a charity helping out kids that have suffered burns, their pediatric care, their recovery, help their families, help them get back to being kids. It's a great charity, and all of your money this whole weekend goes towards that charity. With that, I'm going to kick it over to Jim the Eternal and SO5Z and let you guys take it on away.
Yeah. Hi, my name is C, and I'm gonna show some Timespinner Randomizer. Yeah, it's I've only recently discovered it, and it's become my favorite randomizer super fast. So maybe my second. It's switching. The top two are switching constantly, but right now I really like this. So I just want to kind of show how fun this game is, how easy it is to get in, and yeah, how much fun you can have with just a quick round of Rando. And Jim is actually the one who knows all the game and knows all the lore and knows all the specifics and can tell you everything, while I'm just going to go to the game as fast as we can.
Yeah, hello folks, I'm Jim the Eternal. I've been involved in the Timespinner community, especially the racing and tournament scene for the Timespinner Randomizer for quite a while. So I am happy to partner with Z here and just show off the game.
Yeah. So we have a couple of settings set. We are going to play what is called a quick seed. So we will have one end game item that you would only get like 2/3 into the game if you were playing the game vanilla, which is the Teleria attachment, which allows me to zoom, which means I can just go really fast. This gives us a little bit more freedom in the start with the checks we have available. And it also cuts down on travel time mostly. So we're going to play a quick seed. We are also going to play with specific keycards. We can go into that a little bit later once we found one. And we will have some additional checks because all the memories, all the tablets, and all the letters we can find will also contain checks for us.
Yeah, I think we can go into a little bit more detail on some of the settings and flags once we get into the game and kind of encounter some of the stuff.
Right, so if everybody's ready, I'm also ready. We'll just say 3, 2, 1, go. And we're immediately starting. Hi, Speedy. Hi, Lexatin. Thank you for the good luck. So we're starting by skipping all the cutscenes, and we're getting an orb. There's 16 different orbs, which are basically our melee weapons. Every orb also has a spell that's related to it, and a ring. So we can have a lot of different combinations. Everybody has their preference what they like to use, but I'm kind of okay with the Umbra Orb for the start. I don't like the Aura Serpent spell though, so we'll see how fast we can get something more useful.
Yeah, Umbra Orb is a fairly generic orb. It does have a good element attached to it. Umbra Orb deals dark damage, so that's going to be really convenient for some of the bosses. Dark tends to be an element that most enemies are either strong or weak against, rather than being neutral to. So we'll see some wild damage ranges from this orb.
And we're also going to see that I kill a lot of enemies because this is the boss shuffle, and I want to gain some early levels for my orb and also for my character, just to be a little bit more tanky. So if I get a nasty boss at the start, that I can just be a little bit more lenient with damage.
Yeah, I'm, oh, early security keycard D. That's nice. This is one of the more important progression items for this part of the game. The game is divided into several different times. The game called Timespinner, obviously there's going to be time travel involved. We are currently in the present. There's also the past and a mysterious pyramid, which exists in some time outside of time. The security keycards are very important to progression in the present. The tablet also pretty nice to have for progression in the present. So these are some pretty good finds early on.
That's a lot of extra checks early on. From now on, there's going to be these little computers, and with the tablet, I can go there and get a check at each tablet, basically. So we're just gonna work around this. Usually you would have the time wheel at this point, which allows us to freeze time for a couple of seconds and basically use enemies as platforms when they're frozen. In the randomizer, you usually find the time spinner wheel either super early or super late. So there's some checks I already have to skip here because I cannot reach the higher platforms yet. I can climb a little bit, but I cannot. I need some verticality in my movement. I need either my double jump, which would be the succubus hairpin. I need either the light wall spell, which allows me to build platforms that I can climb on. Or I would need the Celestial Sash, which is the super late game item, which just gives me basically one jump up to the top as far as I can go.
Yeah, a lot of different options for verticality. One of the more esoteric ones is actually the time spinner wheel, which Z already mentioned, but allows you with good timing to stop enemies in the appropriate position to use those enemies as a platform. We're actually going
a little bit finicky, but
yeah, absolutely.
It's super nice for bosses. When you are in a boss fight and the boss is doing a strong attack, you can just freeze and get out of the way, and yeah.
This is actually the perfect room to sort of emblemize that. Normally you are intended to time stop on that jumping bird in order to get up to the platform, but because we started with the Teleria attachment, logically we can get through with a very particularly positioned jump off of that platform to the left.
I'm actually pretty proud that I got that jump first.
You got it first try, that was really good. It usually takes you 2 or 3.
Yeah, me too. Okay, also getting like generic upgrades. I've got an health up right now, which means my max HP is going up. I can also level up to gain more max XP, but there are health ups, sand ups, and aura ups. Aura is my blue bar, which is the mana that I have, which will be used whenever I use spells, which I'm going to use more once I have a useful one, I guess. But sand is the currency that we need to increase time. So my sand bar, which is the little sand dial, is currently empty because it will only have sand once I have the sand spinner at the time spinner wheel.
Right. And in the meantime, just kind of making progress towards this first boss. And since the bosses are randomized, we don't know exactly what the boss is going to be. We know where it's going to be located, and we also know that it's going to be scaled to the stats of the boss that is going to be that would have been in that position. So it's going to have 400 health and probably lower damage than it would otherwise, but we'll see what we end up getting.
Yeah, so we're going to the first boss right now. I just did a little quick safety save. It's Genza. Okay.
Genza, Blob Mom. Everybody loves Blob Mom.
It's not the worst boss to start with.
Yeah, even without time, this is actually a fairly late game boss to be finding in this position. So scale down, less HP, less damage makes it kind of easier to navigate. And
also,
even without time stops, the patterns are fairly easy to dodge.
Also, I also found some healing items. So if I take too much damage, I can also just like pop in one of my berry pick-me-ups that I got.
The patterns have already changed, so we've hit the halfway point. So this is going to be over sooner rather than later.
Yeah. Let's see if I can do some damage with this. Yeah,
that's
not really worth it.
Considering how low damage your melee orb is right now, anything is good.
There we go. That was the first boss, and whenever I kill a boss, I will also get a full heal. And I found a familiar. Yeah, let's lose that. Why not? Get a little friendo floating next to us.
There we go. So the familiar is actually kind of a core mechanic to the story of the game, even if it's not all that functional. Normally we have a cute little dragon floating around behind us during the vanilla game, Mayef. who is very important to the lore. I'll just leave it at that. But also, you can swap out the familiar for a number of other familiars that can show up in different points of the game. And the demon is one of them.
I used to like the sprite a lot. The sprite is less damage, but it occasionally heals you, which is actually quite nice. Oh my god, yeah.
Good find.
We're set. We're set.
So, Eternal Crown, one of the 3 best statted head equipment. There's room for head equipment, body equipment, and then 2 accessories. So the Eternal Crown, definitely one of the better head equipment. It is eclipsed only by the Empire Crown, which has better attack stats and I think slightly worse defensive stats than the Internal Crown.
Yeah, but it's like only 1 point, only 1 point less defense. So Eternal Crown is pretty good. This also means I'm a lot tankier now already. Dang it. And it also means
welcome to the sewers.
Yeah, I hate this part. I'm also going to do a lot more damage to these enemies. So even if they're not weak to dark, I will be doing fine with my Umbra Orb.
Yeah, if you noticed,
it's kind of nice because I have a good attack frequency, I suppose.
Okay, so Chaos Blades is one of my favorite spells, partially because it is the spell associated with my favorite orb, which is the Eye Orb.
Okay. Twin Pyramid Key as well. Why not?
Yeah, Twin Pyramid Key is really useful. So that is the fast travel of the game, and that turns on all of the warp rooms that are available. Also, by getting the Twin Pyramid Keys, it grants us access to another time period. Normally, we would... Oh, you picked up the Eye Orb? Nice.
Yes, I love the Eye Orb. It's actually one of my 2 favorites. Also gonna equip Plasma, but not to deal damage, basically just because. And the wheel. Wow, this seed is spoiling me.
All of your progression is coming so quick.
This seed is so spoiling me. I'm scared.
Where is your warp to? That's the real question. You now have access to the past, so where is it gonna send you?
Yeah, but I'm gonna pick up a couple of items first. I can pick up these. Oh, I already changed.
So this room is accessible because of that security keycard D that we already got. In addition to the D card, there's also a C card, B card, A card, and then a V card that is outside of the usual kind of linear progression of security keycards. So there are a lot more ways to get more progression here in the present. But in the meantime, we have access to everything in the library, which is really nice.
Shattered Orb. Okay, another
Shattered
favorite
also
of mine.
Really great. Yeah, you are spoiled for choice. These are some great orbs.
Yeah, I'm usually sticking with one orb once I find it. I like the Radiant Orb, I like the Eye Orb, I like the Empire Orb. So will probably stick with the. I could go further to the front. I could backtrack a little bit, but I think I just want to go to the past now with the.
Yeah, going to the past I think makes sense from a routing perspective, because if you go to the right, you're not going to be able to open up the warp there. So it makes sense to not head to the right until you have either the C card and the elevator card, or you have the B card in order to open up the warp zone on the right in order to make traversal a little bit easier.
Okay, I'm in the caves, which is fine, I guess.
Oh, these caves, yeah, in the Siren's Cave. Okay, this is a lot more convenient than the Maw Caves, which was I was afraid you were talking about. So yeah, this is a totally normal place to warp to in the past, and now we have a lot of different places that we can go from here.
That was not right.
Yeah, so this is an example of how the wheel works in terms of creating platforms for you. Being able to stop time and position the enemy wherever you want in order to turn them into a platform that you can jump off of, like this.
Ah, dang it. Messed it up.
But the amount
I come back later to that. I could get one more item up there, but it's not that important. We're just going this way first. The problem is I can go get some items done here, but there's some items underwater and I cannot swim yet, so
This is a good way to refill your sand, though. The sand refills both from the drops on the torches in the background, as well as just on melee hits on enemies. You can see, because of the Eye Orb hitting multiple times, he's already completely refilled with sand.
There's also a nice setting that can randomize these torches, so all these torches would have a check the first time you destroy it, which means that the game is really overloaded with checks.
Yeah, it goes from around 200 checks to close to 700 something checks.
Yeah, it's super fun for the multi-worlds, but yeah, in a solo run it can be a tad tedious.
Yeah, it just gives you a lot more to do, honestly, and it kind of granularizes the logic a little bit more, since any given item, instead of getting you 1 or 2 checks, will usually get you 5, 6, 10 checks.
Yeah. So I'm still killing a lot of enemies. This is gonna happen all the way because my boss fights are not the greatest, so I just want a little bit of leeway. And elevator keycard, not bad.
Yeah, for those of you who are unfamiliar with this game, I highly recommend playing not only the randomizer, but even vanilla. This game is a lot of fun. The mechanics are really great, which is kind of what drove me into the randomizer to begin with. And the story is pretty cool too. Like there's a lot of effort being put into kind of the character interactions and stuff. What we have here is we've taken a story warp to the refugee camp, kind of the central town area of the past. And we met some of the NPCs here, one of whom got us, what was the item that Elise just gave you?
I won an ether, so nothing,
Okay,
nothing.
not that.
Oh, the water mask, there we go. And the sash. I'm
you're getting
scared.
all of the progression so early.
I'm scared. If I get all the items at the start, then something terrible is going to happen. I'm going to 100% this for the Timespinner spindle or something.
Yeah, right? It's going to be behind Zarian.
That would be bad.
Yeah, let's not wish that evil into the world.
Yeah.
But what we just picked up is the water mask and the celestial sash. So the water mask allows us to float under, or to sink underneath water instead of strictly floating along the top, which means that any chests that are underwater are now gettable in a way that they weren't before. We also picked up the celestial sash, one of the most important items in the game, which is unlimited vertical. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to... There we go. So the celestial sash just lets you zoom straight upwards unlimitedly. There is no limit to how far you can go, how high you can go. So anything that might require double jump or weird platforming is now completely trivialized.
Yeah, and also allows you to float a little bit because you can kind of... Oh, nice. I'm going to take this as well. It also allows us to float a little bit on the spot if you want to. Can be nice for certain bosses when sometimes they're flying up high and you can hover next to them and get some hits in. The plasma lady can do that sometimes. I forgot her name.
Ilana. Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, Ilana and Kantarin both have very similar patterns. Being able to float next to them with the Celestial Sash is really helpful.
Yeah. So the only thing that I didn't really get yet is a decent spell and a good ring, but I'm really not complaining because I'm super spoiled with other stuff at this point.
Yeah, I think Chaos Blades is actually one of the more powerful spells if you like the sharp damage type that it's doing. But there are definitely more powerful spells for sure.
I kind of like Jin Inferno because you can do the little glitch. So
yeah, Jin Inferno is just the strictly best spell. Yes, you're allowed to like the flaming meatball. It's fine.
Yeah. I'm usually just doing everything with melee and just using Jin Inferno for some boss fights. That's usually how I play it. But yeah, we're gonna see. Oh, I can get this one already. But I'm not.
Do you have fire yet?
No, I don't have fire yet.
Okay.
I have the Oculus ring, which I don't need, and no, I don't have any. So I don't think so. Let me check real quick. This is not fire. Nope.
Yeah, no fire yet. All right, too bad. Obviously, any time travel game worth its salt has ways that allows you to interact between the time periods. Oh, the spindle! Cool, so no spindle. Now it'll just be one of the gears, I guess.
Yeah. So we already have, for our main story items, we already have two. Mm-hmm. The spindle and the wheel. Hi, Death Mask. We need 3 gears right now, and we need access to the room where we can use all these items. So I basically just need keycard B to gain access to that, because I need to kill 3 bosses in the past, but the past is basically completely open for me. And I can get to those bosses, and then I just need the keycard B to get to the room, and the 3 gears. So 4 items away from go mode, I suppose. Wow,
yeah, you have everything. So the succubus hairpin now is not additional progression, but it is a little bit of quality of life, because the celestial sash, while giving you infinite vertical movement, arrests your horizontal momentum. So if you're trying to get anywhere horizontally, the succubus hairpin is more convenient to use because it allows you to keep traveling.
Yeah, it makes certain boss fights just a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Gonna pick
but yeah, we're getting surprisingly close on the progression needed. We do have the 3 story bosses in the past that we need to kill. And we're kind of heading in that direction. You heading towards the maw now, or we're gonna do that later?
Yeah, we're going to the cave right now because I'm thinking about getting the warp point. So getting the Azure, what's it? Azure Queen boss fight, and then
yeah.
then
You should grab the warp point down here first on the way there.
Oh yeah,
so
you're right. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, so the warp points are very convenient now that we have the Timespinner keys. So this is just an easy kind of go into this room and then leave it, and then it's tagged. And now we can warp back to here instead of needing to walk all the way around.
Yeah. Also using the Teleria attachment whenever I can, just to cut down a little bit on travel time. Underwater, it doesn't work as well, but it's definitely
nothing
cutting out.
Underwater. Everything is slow underwater. It's kind of a bummer. But yeah, some easy progression here. Going to be moving on to the Azure Queen location, which, of course, given the boss Rando, is probably not going to be Azure Queen. But we'll see what boss ends up there. This is the not the next logical boss after the first one, but I think the third in line at this point.
What do we get? The maw. Which is pretty easy because there's a little, you just freeze time, get in this position, and now he can't hit you, except with one attack.
Yeah, so this is, one of the easier fights for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, the maw is one of the story bosses. The maw is gating the path between this world and another world that the invading forces have set up a portal between. So there's a whole lot of story implications of being able to kill the maw like this and break the portal in that way. I think we won't be going too deeply into the story stuff here, but the maw is... you might have noticed that the aura bar was pink instead of blue. That's because on this other world, there's a lot more aura in the air, so your aura meter regens faster, which is really cool.
Yeah. There was also some plants here, which I couldn't burn down yet, which is kind of sad. So I'm missing out some checks in the presents, but we have a lot of stuff to do right now. And now that I have double jump and Celestial Sash, I also can get everything I had to skip earlier. So I could already do some backtracking, but I want these three story bosses in the past killed first, so that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. There are a lot of things that you need to go do, as opposed to places that might have something important to you. So it makes a lot of sense to just, from a routing perspective, go to the places that you know you need to go, and then if you still don't have what you need, you can find it later.
Yeah. And since we're speaking of incentives in chat, I hear that cool people don't fulfill the Illusion of Gaia randomizer incentives. They don't want to make my life harder. They just want to have a chill run and not make me struggle all the way.
What is the Illusion of Gaia incentive?
This is the other randomizer that I'll be showing tomorrow, actually. And there's also one of the most important ones would probably be to upgrade the final boss from a 2-phase pretty free boss fight to a 5-phase absolute hell of a final boss fight, which is called Apocalypse Gaia instead of Dark Gaia. So if anybody wants to make my life harder tomorrow, that's definitely something that would be worth putting some time in, but some money in. But everything's worth putting some money in, going for the great cause. So
I'm more than happy to talk about that. Yeah, that incentive is currently open. We will probably be promoing it harder later. But that's 0 of $80 for that specific one going on right now. But we do have other incentives going on currently that you can donate for. We've got Castlevania Symphony of the Night coming up in just a little bit. There's bid wars for the preset, the seed name, and the file name. File name is sitting at $10 for Darkman, so that's easy to snipe. The other ones don't have any bids on them yet, so very easy for you to get some money in there and make them play with whatever settings you feel like. After that, we've got Tunic Randomizer with Link Traps, which is sitting at 0 of $80, and Enemy Rando sitting at 0 of $80. And then Final Fantasy Mystic Quest Randomizer. Most of the incentives have been met, but we do still have a couple of bid wars going on. Possum Sprite is sitting at $10 for Freddy, and Potato Sprite is sitting at $8.40 for Egg. So plenty of easy ones that you could snipe and get some other Sprite in there for all kinds of great incentives all throughout the day. Back to you.
So we picked up the bombardment spell while talking about incentives. This is one of the widely accepted higher damage spells. I think it is second to the Inferno only in terms of kind of the raw damage output that it can do, but it is short range, so it's kind of difficult to use. It's more like a shotgun than anything else.
Yeah, super short range. I'm not that keen on using it actually. I like the. We also found the this spell my demon is using, the Crimson Vortex, which I kind of like because it's keeps traveling. You can do it from the distance, and yeah, I kind of like that one. But we're getting closer to our next boss, which is this is the location where the Maw boss would usually be. And I'm going to take a safety save here, just in case.
Sure. This is one of the harder bosses in the past. Kind of the order in which you are meant to deal with these bosses. This is one that you're supposed to come to after quite a few of the other bosses. So it is a slightly higher damage location and a little bit more HP on the boss. And here we have Varndagroth, one of the bosses who is normally positioned in a fairly easy spot in the present. This is actually one of the harder bosses in the randomizer, despite it being a relatively easy boss in vanilla. Just because when you scale the damage up, the attacks are so much more threatening, since everything works off of a multiplier. And as you can see, a ton of damage output here, just a couple of hits.
I'm just going to heal against this guy because he has some bad patterns, and it's usually just easier to pummel this guy down and just tank the damage and heal against it. At least for me it is. I know if you're playing on Nightmare mode where the damage is even higher, then that was not a good timing for that spell. Yeah, but I'm already halfway because whenever he gets a new pattern, then I know I'm at least halfway down.
Right, yeah, the horizontal dash is his desperation pattern.
Usually this boss would really fall over even in vanilla, but yeah, he had a little bit more HP now, but it's fine. We just used like a potion, which was not even something I bought, but it was a drop from an enemy, so we didn't really have to use up many resources.
Yeah, pretty convenient drops so far. In addition to all of the progression that we've gotten, there's been a fair amount of consumables, so easy ways to heal and to refill aura if we need it.
Yeah. These guys, just want this one. Oops.
Yeah, and now that we have the water mask, we're coming back up into the Siren Caves that we were in earlier on, and you can get some of the checks that we missed earlier on if we're planning on backtracking for it.
Yeah, but I'm going to backtrack even further. I'm going to backtrack to the point with where I couldn't freeze the bat, right? So
did you manage to pick up any warp shards so far, or no?
I bought 5 of them.
Okay.
When I was in the shop, I bought 5 of them.
All right, so warp shards are the other kind of key to the fast travel here. Is at any point we can use a warp shard, just like that one that we just picked up, and warp immediately to any of the warp rooms that we've been to.
Yeah, so I could have just, instead of doing, it was just 2 rooms, so I just walked it because Quickseed makes it really fast. You could also have just used the warp shard to get back to that room. I'm definitely gonna use some in the tower, because in the tower the ways are much longer.
Yeah, it presents a lot of interesting ways to route the game with the warp shards, especially if you're used to having them early on. You can kind of have some preset patterns for navigating some of these rooms that works out pretty conveniently. And you know, I'm always a little bit more focused on speed. How do I get through the rando fast? But that's definitely not the only thing that you can be focused on.
Experience points here because these enemies fall over pretty quickly.
And at this point you've got
underwater.
At this point you've got powerful enough orbs and enough levels under your belt, as well as your equipment, that it's not costing you much time in order to fight these enemies. So a little bit of experience is really helpful.
We got time for
gear number 1. Yes, always.
Death Mask comes in with 2660 saying, "Thank you for this event. Have fun and good luck. Greetings from Germany."
Thank you, Death Mask. Gruß zurück nach Deutschland.
So,
super late for us Germans, actually. So
yeah, right.
especially on a weekday when you still have work tomorrow. But it's never too late for Randomizer. Oh, there's a dragon. You could switch
Yeah.
to the
Thank
dragon.
you
if
for
want.
staying up late enough to run this game for us, Z.
Yeah, and that's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I really like that. Yeah, we're just gonna use a warp shot here because I cannot use the story warp anymore. I think we're just going to go to the castle now.
Yep. Probably from the refugee camp. Looks like there's a lot of checks along the way there.
Yeah. Oops. Got a little story because we killed the mob boss.
Man, killing the mob boss was a time loss. Ambushed by story. So now we're heading towards the castle on the right side of the map, and if you may or may not have noticed that there are a lot of parallels between the past map and the present map. So in the present, the right side of the map is the military hangar, the home of the current emperor of Villette, the world that we're in. But in the past, it is
there we go.
Ooh, you found the Jin Inferno. Let me finish this thought. In the past,
Yes.
It's the home of the Empress, Elana. Not the Empress, Queen? Royal Towers, yeah. And the Queen Elana, who is kind of spearheading some of the military action that is going on in this area. So, Jin Inferno. Tell us about Jin Inferno, Z.
Yeah, I really like it a lot. It's a big ball of fire that travels a bit across the screen. It travels in kind of an arc, so you can miss with it, but it's really big, so you don't miss a lot. And the good thing is you can just chain it, because I don't know if that's a glitch or if that's intended. If you just channel one and immediately channel another one, you can basically just endlessly chain those together without using up any mana, as long as you have enough mana to cast at least 2 of them in a row. So you try to get those chains. Sometimes when you get hit while channeling, you lose the chain and you have to start again. But it's really easy if you get in a good position to just pummel at bosses and just put those infernos into their faces and then reach.
You do have time stop.
Oh, I do have time stop, that's right. I'm not used to having it that early.
It's so easy to forget. Yeah, so Jin Inferno is a glitch. There's something to do with how the sprite management works. So if you fire off another Jin Inferno while the first Jin Inferno is on screen, it will erase the sprite from the first Jin Inferno, and for some reason, not charge you aura.
Yeah.
So it is a glitch, but honestly, it's easier to do than to not do. So it is a glitch that is almost always allowed in, a tournament setting or whatever.
Up. Also, what makes this game really easy to pick up, you have the map tracker basically included in the game. You just open your map, press a button, and you can see all the orange rooms are the rooms where I have checks. And in the multi-world, you would even get an indication when somebody has hinted an item in your world. So it's you don't need an external program to track everything. You can just have everything in game basically. Ooh, security card A.
That's
not what you want to see.
Security keycard A is a card that gates some of the hardest locations in the game. The Zarian caves in the present, as well as a couple of bonus rooms, that are populated by Hellgazers, everybody's favorite laser spider.
Which are really annoying. That's why I usually want the Radiant Orb, because with that you can get them out of the way really quick. But if not, sometimes you can't just really reach them, and it's annoying. But I think we will see them later at anyway.
Yeah, we'll probably now that we have the A card, we're definitely going to be running into some of those bonus rooms.
I guess we will.
Don't worry, I'll keep you honest.
It's fine. So it's I'm not super high speeding this. I'm not I'm pretty playing this pretty casually. So I don't do tournaments or really many races or stuff with that. I feel like I'm pretty decent at the game at this point. I have tons of fun with it, but I'm definitely taking some safeties that experienced runner would probably not do. So this is not high-end, top-quality Timespinner randomizer. This is more like a showcase. Hey, this is super nice. This is super easy to pick up, and why don't you give this a try?
Yeah, it is a very accessible game, and especially with the Teleria attachment, the speed tech for the game is not too difficult to do, with the exception of like risky dashing, which nobody wants to do. So with the Teleria attachment to start with, you kind of have access to a lot of the sort of faster strategies if you want them. And if you don't, that is also okay. It's very fun to just play casually.
Yeah. And it's pretty fair. You can, if you feel like I'm stuck with something, that's fine. Just go to a room with a lot of enemies. All these enemies respawn. So just go to a room with a lot of enemies and just grind a level or two. And maybe then the boss will fall over.
Yeah, this is actually really important with the boss randomizer, right? The boss shuffle. Yeah. Being able to get a couple of levels before needing to face a harder boss is pretty convenient.
Even in vanilla, if you just like, of course you can try to get through there pretty fast, but if you can't, just level a couple of times, and you will have a much easier time, which is actually what makes this you can rely on your skills, of course, but you can also just invest a little bit more time, which is fair, I think, which makes it really accessible for beginners.
Yeah. So now we are going to be heading towards the second story boss location in the past, the Twins location. Of course, we don't know who's actually going to be there, but this is one of the, interestingly, somewhat higher health but lower damage locations because of the way the boss that is there in vanilla is scaled. So a tanky boss, but probably not a boss that's going to deal too much damage, especially given our gear.
Yeah, and also, this is usually a boss that's split in two phases, so it has a lot of HP. But yeah, usually not that dangerous, just a little bit tedious. But we are going to get a couple more checks first. More healing items, more stat upgrades. Love to see them. Getting a little more level ups. There's also an item later that will, an accessory later that will help us to level up even faster. But we have not seen that yet, which is not a big deal. I should pick that up, otherwise the map will stay orange and annoy me.
So you mentioned some of the orbs that are available. Are there any particular orbs that you're still looking for at this point, given that you have access to the Eye Orb and a couple of others?
I mean, I always like to have the Radiant Orb just for the Hellgazers. And to make it a little bit easier, I also still need something that's causing fire damage. Oh no, I have Jin Inferno now.
If Jin Inferno fire, yep.
Never mind. Yeah,
you can go back and burn the vines if you want.
I can burn the vines if I want, but I don't feel like backtracking at this point.
Yeah, so we definitely have a lot of
Hi, Nightmare!
So, Nightmare is the canonical end boss for the game, for the true ending. Nightmare is well known for having high damage attacks in his usual position, but all of those attacks are pretty dodgeable since Time Stop doesn't work against them. So, when those attacks are lower damage, he's basically kind of free. He's a bit of a cakewalk.
And also with the Jin Inferno, I lost the chain a couple of times, but you can pretty much.
There you go, Radiant.
There we go. We have Radiant Orb. Just gonna equip this real quick.
Yeah, Radiant is another one of those really, really popular orbs. One of the reasons Radiant is as popular as it is you have the jewelry box, which you can use to swap between loadouts. There is a glitch that allows you to use the jewelry box to reset the cooldown of an orb. It's pretty input intensive. There's a lot of like clicking around in order to make it work, because you have to swap between loadouts fairly quickly. But you can use it to kind of machine gun very slow orbs into just really, really fast damage.
I'm not gonna do that. I don't know how that's gonna work. Now, this is a little bit beyond my level, but I just like the Radiant Orb because there's certain enemies that are very weak against it, including Nightmare, which is one of the bosses that takes a lot of damage from the Radiant Orb.
Yeah, Radiant is a really good damage type, as well as being just a very high damage orb to begin with.
Just now I opened this red door. I needed a plasma source to open that. I have the plasma orb, which is basically the base orb, but also the plasma spell or the plasma ring would have worked as well, which I also have.
We haven't really talked too much about the rings so far. So rings are kind of passive accessory-like effects, and there is a ring and a spell associated with each melee orb. So the Eye Orb that we're currently using has a spell, Chaos Blades. I'm not sure if we've used it. But
I
it's
used it once. Yeah.
okay. But it also has a ring associated with it, the Oculus ring, which shows you where shortcuts are in the game or where there's breakable walls.
Actually,
I
have
think
that as well.
so. The ring that we have equipped right now, you have Sanguine Ring equipped right now, I think.
I think I
The
have
blood ring?
Sanguine Ring. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why there's little green pop-ups. The Sanguine Ring gives healing whenever you attack with a melee orb. So you're seeing like the little ones pop up
Yeah.
on Lunaeus' sprite.
You kind of want a ring that increases your damage, but I don't have one yet, so I'm just taking a little bit of extra recovery. Oh, Pyro Ring causes extra
There we go.
damage.
That is also a source of fire.
I think I'm gonna use the Pyro Ring just for a little bit of extra damage. Now my orbs are on fire, and now enemies will burn. It's not that great against regular enemies, but against bosses it can stack up pretty well.
Yeah, it is a
extra
nice
fire.
damage over time source, especially if you don't get a lot of damage time on the enemy. So any boss that has like evasive techniques or moves around the room a lot, this is going to be pretty useful for just a constant source of damage.
Yeah. I'm gonna just
Yeah, you've got enough money at this point.
get the rest of my warp shards and buy some of those, just to be safe. Since I'm here anyway, I might as well. And actually, this is my favorite music in the game as well. Like I love the Royal Towers music.
Yep,
Just
Royal Tower is
speaks to me.
definitely one of the favorites, and really shows off the Castlevania influences in this game. I feel like this whole area of the castle is pretty heavily influenced by Castlevania, not only in the aesthetic but also in the music. I feel like the regular castle music sounds a lot like the library music from Symphony of the Night.
Yeah, I mean, there's worse things than getting inspired by Symphony of the Night, one of the best games ever.
No joke, no joke.
So I'm pretty okay with that, but I feel this is a little bit more available than Symphony of the Night because it's just smaller in scale. So you can get... Oh, hi, Silence Me.
Yeah, Symphony of the Night is a classic game, very, very good, but also kind of shows its age. And Timespinner definitely gives you a lot more of that kind of modern quality of life, stuff that we're just used to in more modern games. So
That was the keycard B,
Yeah,
which is
keycard B.
the last keycard that I definitely need. There's still keycards, speak of the devil.
there it is.
There's keycard C as well, so now I can open all the doors except for the doors that just have 2 tablets behind them, so...
So there are
keycard B.
still quite a few more places to go in the game. We are on our way to Ilana's chamber for the 3rd story boss of the past. And then once we've killed these 3 bosses, the lasers that were blocking the way to the military hangar in the present are going to disappear. So we'll have access to the military hangar, the lab, and the Emperor's towers in the present once these bosses are dead.
But we
and
also skipped a lot of locations in the present, so we have
Yeah,
a lot of
yeah.
places we can still go. The past is nearly empty, except for a couple checks where I didn't go because I didn't have a fire source. But yeah, the past is basically done. I can equip this one for a little bit of extra damage.
Cool, yeah. It's a decent source of stats. Not a whole lot of sources of stats for the accessory slot, but... and here we have the twins! Okay, cool. So the twins have just moved in the tower. Instead of being in the twins spot, they are up here in Ilana's chamber. And the twins is a 2-phase boss fight, so the succubus and incubus reveal themselves as puppets, and now you get to fight the golden idol in the background here. Very ominous looking boss made of a variety of colors, mostly gold.
And
Funny
we're
how that
already at 50% because you get this move with the saw.
Yep, this buzzsaw is the golden idol's desperation attack. So almost there, pretty close. And Jin Inferno making short work of this guy. The fire damage on the Jin Inferno is very good. Not a weakness of the golden idol, but everybody's weak to playing the meatball. The thing
Yeah,
is-
everything dies when you put enough fire into it.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm going to get these last few
Nice.
items. Oh, this is actually nice.
Galaxy Earrings, one of the more important items for scaling. In the vanilla game, it's not particularly powerful. The amount of scaling that it adds is very low. But in the randomizer, we've kind of bumped it up to make it feel like it's worth equipping. And it is definitely worth equipping if you have the setting turned off.
Yeah, guess I am going to... Oh, wait, I can just use a warp shot here.
Heck yeah. Back to the present now?
Yeah, I guess I think I want to do the backtracking and get all the stuff in the present. So we're gonna burn some stuff first.
All right. Yep. Burn some vines, check those spots in the present, and then straight to the lab, I think,
Yeah.
after that, right?
Yeah, straight to the lab. I'm just doing this to be thorough and to be just done with the past, so I will never have to backtrack here again.
Totally fair.
So
At this point, you're not even missing that many items. We already picked up the B card, like you said. So we're only missing what, 2 more gears?
2 more gears. That's right.
And then the way to the true ending, which is the usual goal for the randomizer, will be completely open. We'll be able to make it into the lab and then use the time spinner in the lab to break time and travel to the mysterious pyramid.
Yeah. So we're just gonna grab a couple more items here along the way, and we're going to burn 3 sets of vines. So in the presence there won't be any wood that's blocking me. So yeah, we're just going to, and I'm also getting a couple more experience points. Now that I have the galaxy earrings, my orb damage will go up, which is nice because with the eye orb I kind of rely on my orb melee damage. But yeah, we'll see what we do.
Yeah, so there's a few more checks here, just kind of clearing this place out. We can talk a little bit more about some of the randomizer settings and the goal of the game. So the typical goal for the randomizer is deicide, which is the true ending. You can also set the randomizer goal to be the kind of other end game boss. The vanilla game allows you to go in a variety of different places, and there is sort of a first end game in vanilla. And once you get through that, it sort of opens up the option to break time and cause a little bit more change than just killing the Emperor in the present.
So now I'm back in the present, and now I'm just gonna show this real off. There's this fog here right now, and there's also these barricades that blocked me earlier are just missing now, so I can now get a ton of items that I had to skip earlier. Mm-hmm. And I'm just gonna get the warp point for the caves just in case while I'm here.
Yeah, so one of the ways in which changing stuff in the past changes stuff in the present, the vines is definitely sort of the biggest one of those. But there's also a lot of story implications to the things that you have done in the past time that change the look and the feel of stuff in the present. So that green gas that's everywhere here that wasn't there when we were first here is because the Maw has been killed, which changed how things progressed in the present as part of an invasion plan from one of the other planets.
Yeah. There's also now a actually you can go to the present at different times. At some points there will be a just one chest in this area, but when you kill all 3 bosses, there's a spaceship that has crashed down there. Mm-hmm. And
also a side effect of the Maw.
Yeah, a side effect of the Maw, right? And then there's more items there because then in the spaceship there's an additional item. But yeah, I guess we're just going to the points where I definitely need to go, and then we can decide where to go after, where to backtrack after if we don't find our
if you're still missing stuff
then it's on the way. Yeah,
at that point.
There's some items that are some locations that are easier to execute. I'm not a big fan of climbing the tower, to be honest. So I like to skip that when I can, but right now we're just going into the barracks, military hangar, and we get good music again. Excellent music.
Yeah, I love the military hangar music. Yeah, there's some really interesting checks here, and this check that Z is getting right now is actually designed to be gotten. Ooh, Eternal Coat. That is the bar none best piece of body armor. It has both the best offensive and the best defensive stats, so it is a great piece to find here. But yeah, this kind of vertical shaft with the bombardiers dropping little bombs on them is designed to be gotten with double jump and time stop. You can freeze those bombs in midair and then jump from one bomb to another in order to make it up to that top area. But with the Celestial Sash, everything is much easier.
Yeah. That's my Geyser, which I don't need anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at this point you have you've used pink for all of the things you're going to be using pink for, I think.
Yeah. Right now, my eye orb is not the best for these enemies, but I'm sticking to it right now because now I want the experience points on it to just ramp up the damage on it. So since I have the galaxy the Galaxy Earrings, now I will not be switching around anymore. And this comes when I get
Nice, second gear. Okay, one more gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, this really shows off kind of the damage types. These enemies are strong against sharp type, which is what the Eye Orb is. So instead of seeing the usual 16 per hit, we're seeing 8 per hit. And these are particularly tanky enemies as well. So it's just a really, really bad matchup for the Eye Orb. If we had a strong piece of blunt, like the Iron Orb, Radiant also really good here. But it really shows off the power of having a spread out kit rather than focusing on one damage type. So yeah, a couple more checks here. This is some interesting traversal. You can kind of see that we're in a later game area with all of the platforming and stuff like this. But we're heading into the lab, which is the home of the boss that we've already fought, Genza. Who was taking over kind of that first boss spot.
But the lab is kind of tricky because you need to progress through it in a certain way to open a certain barricade. So we're in go mode.
Oh, that's it. That's go mode.
I don't believe it. Okay. I think we're still gonna clear out the lab just to show it off, just to get a little. Oh, what's the verdict? What are our
Darkmoon, how's the
great admins telling us? Should we play a little bit more, or should we just race straight to the finish?
I think Darkmoon is either muted or not listening. That's fine.
No, I was listening. I just had to unmute myself. So, you guys, I mean, you're only halfway through your estimate time, so there's a couple more things you want to do before you finish up. That's fine.
Oh yeah, then show off the lab. So you can see all of the conveyor belts here are kind of moving all of this junk along. One of the conceits of the lab is that in order to actually get through it, there's certain lasers that are blocking your way. So you have to depower the lab, which of course changes how the rest of the lab functions. It turns off the pistons, it turns off all of the falling junk, it turns off the conveyor belts and stuff. So it changes the way that you navigate it once you turn it off. Also opens up this A room, which is one of the Hellgazer rooms. So good thing that you have that Radiant Orb.
Yeah.
So these the spider, these are Hellgazers. The laser walls that they emit are actually the one thing that I think Glitch Hunters still haven't really found a way around. They have a limit to how far up or down they go, but I don't think anybody has found a way to actually just glitch through them yet. And people have found ways to glitch through quite a lot of things. They also deal a lot of damage and have a huge chunk of health, so they are a real pain to deal with. The Radiant Orb makes this look a lot easier than it actually is.
Yeah. You can also use Plasma Orb, it's kind of fine, but Plasma Orb sometimes don't get it when it's right above you, so it's a bit
yeah, the angling on the Plasma Orb is a little weird sometimes, and the damage isn't super great.
I think I'm gonna take that ring. So now I have 3 orbs instead of 2, so I can just toss more projectiles, which means especially when I have big bosses with big hitboxes, I can just get a ton of single hits in.
Yeah, the Star of Lachiam, nice to find. This is the ring. Ooh, Empire Crown. Yeah. All right. So this is the goods. The only missing piece of your equipment right now is Selen's Bangle, which canonically belonged to the player's mother, and gives the player double experience gain. Of course, we have a decent chunk of experience at this point, so I don't even know if you'd swap into it if you found it. But it is sort of the canonical end game equipment.
I kind of would, I think, but because more levels can never be a bad thing. But yeah, we're just going to clear this place. Maybe I still find something nice to show off. Yeah, but it's really we're super lucky right now. But there's this. It's really all about finding that verticality, and once you have it, you have a ton of stuff to do. But we're going straight into the end game. We skipped a lot of sections where there would be easier enemies, where there would be a little bit less high on platforming. Hi, Plasma Lady. Welcome.
So Ilana at the Blob Bomb location. So this is one of the important bosses in the past, Ilana. But instead we are finding her in a slightly later location, which means her damage is going to be ramped up a little bit. And not her attacks are kind of hard to dodge. So this is going to be a little bit more difficult of a fight. One of the bosses that you don't super like to see in a high damage location. But given the kit that we have, I'm sure Z will make short work. Oh, so Donut in chat has an interesting question, which is, can you split your orb equipment? Right now we have Eye Orb equipped to both of our orb slots, but could you, for example, put an Eye Orb and a Fire Orb, or split the orb slots in some way? You definitely can, but it changes. Each orb has its own specific timing, so there's not a lot of reason to mix them. Most of the time you want to keep your abilities kind of the same, so you have the pattern for yourself, just because it's easier to kind of regulate how you're attacking. But yeah, you can do either. So here we have an important decision to make. What do you have? Oh, Sandman and Feline
Sandman
Sentry.
or Feline Sentry. I'm gonna go Feline Sentry, I suppose, but
Yep.
I'm
So
asking
this-
if I go for it now, we will be done in about like 15 minutes max. Do we want to see one more area, or do we just want to go for it?
What, are you gonna go to Emperor's Towers? Don't do it. Don't do it.
No, I was going to go to the elevator section.
Oh yeah, okay, sure. Show off the elevator towers. You want to head to the warp at the end here?
Yes, I'm just
great.
tower. Somebody wants tower. Okay, let's do tower. Maybe.
All right, Emperor's Tower it is. So this is the kind of penultimate endgame location here after the lab. This is the.
And you're gonna be super disappointed because since I already have the Celestial Sash, it's not as hard as you have it in mind, because there are moving platforms and spinning platforms. You have to do a lot of double jumps and light wall if you have it, and using the time freeze. But with the Celestial Sash, it's actually kinda easy.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
just still annoying because the enemies are still annoying, and because I forget that there are people standing in my way. Why did I forget about you?
So I can't help but notice that we have not yet fought any of the dad-likes, which means you're probably going to be fighting 2 dad-likes as your final bosses in the pyramid.
Funny that you would say it. In my practice seat, which I did on Tuesday, I had both dads as my last 2 bosses. So I had young dad and an old dad.
Oh man. Yeah, so there are 3 bosses with very similar attack patterns. 2 versions of Nuvius, past Nuvius and present Nuvius, as well as Emperor Volteralus, all of whom
Nuvius?
have very similar attack patterns, and are thus all referred to as dad-like, since Emperor Nuvius is Lunaeus' dad.
Oh, I didn't know his name. I just saw Dad. I just thought
Yep.
his name was Dad. In canon.
No, he has an actual name, Emperor Nuvius.
Okay.
Or Prince, King Nuvius? I don't know. He's some title. I think it's Emperor. He's got to be Emperor.
He's Prince when he's young, and he's Emperor when he's
Yeah.
when he's old.
There you go. So one of the alternate things that you can do in the randomizer is, instead of having your goal be true ending, instead of having your goal be deicide, your goal can be patricide instead. Coming up here to the Emperor's Towers and defeating whoever is in the appropriate spot for Emperor Nuvius. One of the things we really appreciate Lunaeus for is she has used the power of time travel to be gay and do crimes.
Right. Yeah, that's actually canon. Yeah.
Yeah, the whole story honestly is I think it's pretty well written, and I very much appreciated the character interaction.
You know this clapping session, how annoying it was, right?
Yeah. This is why Celestial Sash is such a great item.
I'm very sorry. All this annoying climbing session done. Oh, Empire.
Empire, great.
Actually, also one of my favorites, but we're sticking to the IOP now because I already have 36 levels in it.
Yeah, you got some pretty good damage on this. This is pretty good.
So we're gonna kill the boss up here as well. If we do the tower, we will also kill the boss up here.
Yeah, might as well. But yeah, so this is a lot of different settings and flags available in the randomizer. Some really, really cool stuff. Really interesting ways to play the game, and randomizes a lot of things that you might not normally expect to be randomized. So even stuff like platforming can change because you can randomize what areas of the game are flooded or not. Wow, this is a great spot for Zarian. Good thing you already have Jin Inferno. Yeah, this is.
Yeah, I'm not gonna deal with the patterns with this boss. I'm just gonna pummel it down as fast as I can.
Absolutely. This is one of the harder bosses in the game, and is in a somewhat endgamey position. So there's a lot going on. Kind of fills the screen with garbage. Fortunately, with the power of Jin Inferno and also that ridiculously overpowered Eye Orb, Z can make quick work of even some of the endgame bosses. So this is nice.
Yeah. Also, this guy poisons you, but I do have an item that would make me immune to poison. So this is one of the bosses where you would usually, where it would make sense to switch an item. But
yeah,
I guess
Pendulum's
the
really
tower
good
is
there.
empty now. Let's do some endgame.
All right.
So
So
we're gonna
now
do
we're
the
heading
feline
into. So now we're heading into the mysterious pyramid. I have to decide which of these two bosses you want to kill here in order to break time. This is Feline Sentry, affectionately known as Boots to the community after the voice actor. And this is the first boss in the game, and has a interesting set of resistances and weaknesses, in that Boots is not weak to anything. So either is neutral or strong to every single damage type. So it kind of doesn't matter what you're using against him. I think Sharp is probably one of the worst options, but Eye Orb is still very powerful regardless.
Especially since it has such a high hitbox with each orb, I get multiple hits in. It just stacks up really well with the Eye Orb, especially with the star.
Yeah, Eye Orb is just such a good orb.
Oh no, I broke time.
Yeah, it's not like that was what you meant to do.
Oh no. Can somebody fix it, please?
Can somebody fix it? As Lunaeus punches her palm in the cutscene, getting ready to cause additional problems. So yeah, the storyline, this is a lot of cool storyline elements here, as this is the actual true end game for Timespinner. But we have to go through the mysterious pyramid here, finding some extremely difficult enemies, honestly, for how much power you have at this point.
Especially since you cannot freeze these enemies. They're all immune
the
to the time
wheel
wheel.
doesn't work on them.
Yeah. So this is kinda bad, but
But yeah, on our way to
Empire Orb really quickly, but yeah, we're just like I said, we're now just putting more and more experience points, as well as still have the Galaxy Earrings into the Eye Orb just to get squeeze a little bit of more damage out of it.
Yeah, you're gonna have just an incredible amount of experience and power once you get there.
I'm already powerful enough. I don't need to grind anymore. I just kind of like to pad a little bit of time. And this is the point where you need the Celestial Sash. You can do this climb with the light wall. So just building platform after platform after platform. But yeah, obviously you're supposed to use the sash here and do this really, really high jump.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a huge pain to deal with when your only vertical is light wall. There is a trick you can do with light wall and double jump, setting out a light wall platform and then jumping after you've set it out in order to skip having to go all the way to the bottom and all the way back up. But it is kind of technical, and the Celestial Sash is a much easier way of dealing with the problem.
But I also did it with just the light wall, so I just bought potions or farmed some ether and then just had to refill in the middle of the climb, which is actually pretty scary because the platforms vanish behind you, and if you don't cast the next one quick enough, you're going to fall down all the way again.
Yeah, also a bit of a hassle. Dealing it with just light wall is definitely rough.
Because I am not I never made this trick work once. I thought I just Oh no, I don't have the bangle. I was thinking with numbers when I have the bangle. I was just gonna say I have just to kill this guy twice to get a final level up, but
You've internalized knowledge of experience drops on the enemies. That's not something that I've
I
put
just
enough
in
attention to.
just in the pyramid. Ciphering. Okay. Do I wanna switch these out now? But
Did
then
you end up
again-
finding the shadow seal or no?
No, I don't
too
have a
bad.
good ring. The star is actually the best one. I have tailwind, but I don't want to use tailwind.
Yeah, no,
I
you're
think-
fine. Star's good.
So we have 2 bosses now in a row, but we get healed in between, and we fight the Azure Queen.
Yeah, so here is the Azure Queen of Sandman. Sandman, the second hardest boss position in the game. 5,500 HP and scaled damage to boot, so definitely a high damage location. Azure Queen already into the desperation attack, so definitely making short work of the boss.
You're such a nerd, you know the damage values of the bosses.
Yeah.
I just hit them until they're dead.
It shows where our efforts have gone, right? The things that we each individually focus on.
There we go. Final level up, and now I get healed, and do we get a dad? We get
Yeah,
dad.
here we go.
Yay, that percent.
Alright, so here is Emperor Nuvius, the present version of the dad, so the more evolved dad. Wielding the Empire Orb, which is kind of cool, as well as the Blade Orb, and I think the Blue Orb. So,
Actually, a couple of orbs. He also has the Umbra Orb, and he has the Blade Orb. This is the Umbra Orb attack, which he's going to use.
oh, it's Umbra. I thought it was blue. Okay, yeah, I'll believe it's Umbra.
I think it's Umbra, right?
Sure.
And I think this is supposed to be Eye Orb, I think. Oh no, this is the Blade. This is the Colossal Blade spell.
Yep.
We saw the Aura Serpent spell, which was actually the spell we started with. Oh, I should.
Yeah, maybe don't die.
Was
Why you
paying
have all
too
those
much attention on the colors to notice my health dropping. Oh, this is
But here comes the desperation attack, so we're at least halfway there.
Oh, that's his desperation? Okay.
Yeah.
I was not aware of that. I just thought it was just them. But this is Aura Blast, which is the spell of the blue orb. There we go.
There we go.
Time.
That's time.
And now we see how many times I bonked my head.
Exclamation marks in chat, please. That is how you mark the ending of a Timespinner randomizer. And 22 concussions.
I mean, I got it pretty early, so 22 is understandable. Donations for concussions. I think I might have to, yeah. Yeah, we had a super nice seat. We didn't have like annoying bosses. We had good equipment. Tons of fun to play. I can just say, like you saw, I killed a lot more enemies that were necessary, but it kind of made the dead fight a breeze. So yeah, it's just a super nice thing to pick up and play on your own level. It's, I think, like going by other randomizers like this, I always say there's Super Metroid, where Super Metroid, if you can't do pixel perfect wall jumps, don't play Super Metroid randomizer. This is the complete opposite. Just play it like you want it and you'll have tons of fun with it. So yeah, everybody who thought maybe I want to pick something up new, this is definitely something I can fully recommend. Actually turned in my top 2. And the other spot on the top 2 I will be able to show you tomorrow at around in Europe slash normal people time. I think at around 8:30 in the evening, but for you US people that should be 2:30 p.m. I think. I'm not sure. Time zones are confusing.
I'd also like to shout out the Timespinner community. The official Timespinner Discord is also the home of the Timespinner Randomizer and the base for a lot of the tournaments that we've been doing. We've had yearly tournaments with SGL, if you are interested in not only taking up the Timespinner Randomizer, but also challenging yourself and seeing how fast you can clear and how fast other people can clear. And we've also very close to wrapping up a 2v2 mystery settings tournament that has been going on for quite a while. So
Nice.
definitely, if that is something that interests you, come check out the Timespinner Discord server.
And there's also bingo for this right now, because I don't know if you guys had something like that, but I actually started working on a bingo board generator for this game,
Very cool.
which has some settings right now. So if you want to do something more, a little more fun, a little more less speed, more collective fun, maybe you can also give that a try, which is also really fun.
Oh, and then
So-
also 2 more things. First off, Timespinner is integrated into Archipelago, and it is a
Yes.
very, very nice kind of light game for a sync multi-world. And with the flag setting for the torches gives you a lot of checks for an async if that's what you're into. As well, Timespinner 2 is in development, and it would greatly help out the developer if you went to Steam and wishlisted it.
Where can you find the bingo? You can go on playbingo.gg and then just search for Timespinner. It is still a work in progress, so any suggestions or something? I am currently the mod of this board, so if you have any suggestions, anything you want to change, feel free to hit me up on Discord, and we can definitely integrate this. I've had some fun with it, but it's like I said, it's just my stupid ideas so far, so if anybody has more interesting ideas how to do this, we can definitely integrate that, and I'm the only one working on it right now, so I can definitely get out some mods and maybe have some bingo action next time we have this marathon.
Sounds like a good time to me.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to the nice music real quick. So yeah, that was Timespinner Rando. And yeah, was tons of fun. Hope you enjoyed it. Jim, thanks for commentating and giving all the knowledge that I lacked.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
I learned a lot, definitely, right now. So yeah, can only recommend this game. Hope you also have a lot of fun with the rest of the marathon. I will be seeing all of you again tomorrow for Illusion of Gaia Randomizer. Remember to stay generous. Remember to got stuff in for the good cause. You can win a lot of cool prizes I've seen for donating, and you can even torture your streamers with some extra incentives. So what more do you want? That's definitely top value for your dollar. So
Yeah,
if you can get those
thanks
donations.
to the FFR Winter Marathon for bringing us on here, and happy to be here in support of BCF and in support of the Timespinner community.